few weeks ago, we had talked about Lindsey's recent engagement. She really looked like she was living the single life, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, she suddenly announced she was engaged to this guy, and she launched him on her social media. His name is Chad, and the next thing you know, she was packing all her bags and moving her, Miley, and her animals into his house. She was working at this rehab facility, and now she has announced that she is working at her boyfriend's, well, I guess now fiance's car lot. He owns this cowboy trucks and auto sales car lot in Mississippi, and she's now working for him. And then she announced that since she has moved in with Chad, there has been no shortage of drama between Chad's ex and Lindsey. Lindsey claims that things have gotten so bad that Chad's ex allegedly, according to Lindsey, called CPS on her, and they sat down with Miley and made Lindsey take Miley into the CPS office to make sure that Lindsey's doing everything she's supposed to do as a parent, not putting hands or anything on Miley. And she claims that's traumatized Miley, and she's putting Miley through all this unnecessary pain and drama. And she claims that it's all because she's with Chad, and she said that his ex really isn't no angel. She's like, she ended up having Chad adopt her kids, and her and Chad had no biological kids together, so he allegedly adopted her kids, and then 10 days later she up and left with her new boyfriend and left her children behind. I do think she has 2 of her children now. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know one of her sons is living with Chad and Lindsey. I'm not sure about the other 2 kids, but Lindsey ended up posting, and she said, "I find it hilarious and honestly pathetic when people poke, push, provoke, and then hit record the second they get a reaction. Suddenly they're the victim. Suddenly they want sympathy. Suddenly it's, look what he did to me, as we all haven't witnessed you doing the absolute most to get the response in the first place. And believing that sending me out of all people something negative. See, Daniel Price, the difference between you and me is I don't hide behind my child and fake numbers. I don't secretly do anything because I believe in transparency, and I share my life with millions. That's why I tagged you. I'm nothing you've ever encountered before. I'm college educated from Ole Miss, and I manipulated my way through my 20s, which makes me incredibly hard to be played in my 30s. You baited, you recorded, you cropped, you shared, and now you're playing victim. Again, but what you really did this time was invite me into this situation. And I'm not your therapist, baby. I don't help people heal. You don't get to light the match, toss it, then cry about the fire. You don't get to weaponize your own drama and act shocked when people see through it. And honey, if you keep pushing, I'll personally dismantle this little victim narrative you're clinging to like it's your last personality trait. Reaching out to me while hiding behind a fake number, that's weak. That's desperate, and you really should have kept me out of it, because now you got my attention. Keep playing. I've got free time and a dark sense of humor. Now let's look at some of the comments that provide a little bit more insight into the situation. Someone says they know Chad's ex and she used to come into AutoZone when I worked there for his account, and I didn't like her from the start. Fake all over. I felt bad for her husband, and now I feel great for her ex-husband. Some people were encouraging Lindsey. Some people were telling her they feel like she needs to keep it off social media because they feel like everything she says is only going to be used against her. And someone said, I think it's funny to do this to the mom, but what about their kids that are supposed to be part of your family now too? Are they going to ever feel safe with you if this is how you treat their mother? And she said, respecting the kids doesn't mean staying quiet while someone tries to rewrite history and paint themselves as the victim. I'll protect the people who are left to pick up the pieces after she left. Then someone else said, so now the man that she chose to adopt her children has moved on with a gorgeous 30-something cowgirl. She's claiming he had put hands on her. Lord, this is the type of ish that gets the courts upset and impatient with folks. There's no time for emotional regret in the courts. He was good enough to adopt your children, except that he's chosen an amazing, resilient, and yes, beautiful lady to do this life with. And that's the one thing, like, I gotta say about it, because I guess, like, people in the comments were claiming she was making claims that Chad was putting hands on her. But it's like, why would you allow your kids to still be with him if that was the case? You know, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I definitely have questions. But I also have questions on Lindsey's side, too, because I guess Chad's ex posted a video that got Lindsey's first response we covered, when she's like, yeah, you want to bait people and then, you know, get mad when they respond. I guess she got a video, and I'm not sure what the video was of. If anybody got the video or saw it, then please let me know. Hit me up on Instagram or email me. But I guess by the time I ended up seeing the post, she deleted the video that his ex posted in her comments. And some people asked Lindsey, why did you delete the video she posted? And at first she was trying to say, oh, she blocked me, that's why you can't see it. And then someone was like, no, I just saw it. Just, like, I don't know. But she ended up saying, oh, actually, I deleted it myself because I make money on Facebook and I don't want to lose my monetization. But that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm monetized on, like, my personal Facebook page, and I know, like, I don't know, I've never gotten any trouble for comments people leave. Like, if somebody leaves a comment, that's on them, and they're the ones that are going to get in trouble. But, you know, I have heard of, like, Facebook groups, I guess, getting disabled for things like that. I don't know, but it is kind of questionable, like, okay, why did you delete that video? Like, what are you trying to hide? That's why I'm very curious what was in that actual video. And then someone said she's only mad because Chad has moved forward with you and she knows she's lost any hope of being able to come back. She is turned out, but before she was okay with him adopting the children because she knows he's a good father. He had proven that. She also knew that Beau would not agree to her new lifestyle with her new boyfriend, who has a long history with drugs, so she signed her custody rights to Beau over to Chad, and that's the son I was talking about. I know he has custody of. And then she said, I imagine she's not happy that she'll have announced engagement. She's been with a new boyfriend since she left, and so they have not announced future plans to marry, so he has not fallen prey to her con yet. I would say jealousy is the motive in this case. Love you, sweet girl, and I'm sorry her drama won't stop. I could write a book on the drama she creates, and it's sad because the children have Facebook, and she doesn't consider their feelings at all. She doesn't even acknowledge Beau's birthday, only on Facebook to make herself look good. It's a shameful situation. She could put her children first for once in her life, quit the drama, and move forward for the sake of the children first for once in her life. And they said, really, she asked him to adopt the children and then runs off with a man just 10 days after the adoption is complete. Really, what kind of mom does that? Then someone said that's always going to be his ex and child's mother no matter what. Some women are bitter and we have to learn how to understand them and avoid conflict as women ourselves. At least if we want to be happy and the kids not suffer, you tagging her is definitely fueling her rage, just my thoughts. And Lindsey said, he has no biological kids with her. He adopted her 3 kids and she left him for another man 10 days later. She left him on her new boyfriend's birthday and left her 3 children with him 4 months. Her oldest chose to stay with him, but he refuses to see her, and I've never even met the younger ones. And honestly, I doubt I will until they're old enough to decide that they want to follow their older brother's footsteps. And if that day comes, I'll treat them the same as I do my own daughter. Okay, so I couldn't see the ex's comment, but when I was originally going through the comments on the post, I saw it. I don't know why I didn't originally screenshot it. I was hoping it'd still be up there later. But the ex did comment, and she was like, you know, keep believing everything he tells you. I promise it's not true. And she's saying that Chad's only telling her part of the story. And then Lindsey was like, no, actually, your son told me that. And I think that was in response to the son wanting to live with Chad and her running off with another man. Then someone said, it's a shame it's already coming to blows with the ex and baby mama. It's going to cause a rift in y'all's relationship. Unfortunately, if even over time, that's sad. Then a lot of people share, like, look, I've had similar experiences with psycho exes of mine. And then someone else said, Well, no, Lindsey said, imagine being so bitter, so obsessed, and so desperate to feel relevant that you call CPS not because you're concerned, but because you're mad. Because you lost control of the narrative, because your ex-husband moved on. Okay, so this is the ex-wife. And they did own property together. I don't know if he still owns it or not. And she said, because your drama didn't land the way you hoped, so now you're wasting resources meant for real children in danger. All you are doing is weaponizing a system meant to protect kids by wasting state resources to drag caseworkers away from children who actually need help, and prove to the world that your obsession with me and Chad is alive and well. Try as you may, your chaos and drama can't affect a household that's finally at peace. You don't care about the kids, Danielle, not even your own. You care about attention. And what you did wasn't protective, it was just pathetic. Keep playing, keep trying, but every time you come for us, you just remind everyone why you're not in this family anymore. We're good over here. Always have been. CPS isn't a scare to a family that lives right, but now you do get to live with that embarrassment of being the one so obsessed with your ex-husband that you simply cannot stop. Next time you feel like playing games, just text Chad to say you miss him and save the taxpayers the paperwork. #crazyexwife. And someone said, look, I get it, but I don't know if venting to your mass following on social media is the right move. Move silently, and if lawyers are involved, I'm sure they would tell you the same thing. And Lindsey said, look, I get what you're trying to say, but no, I will not move in silence when it comes to protecting my children. My baby girl had to sit down and talk to a CPS worker today because a grown woman couldn't handle her own bitterness. That's not something I'm gonna be quiet about. That's not something I'm gonna vent privately about so she can keep thinking her little games have no consequences. This is only about pride or being unbothered. This isn't about a line being crossed, and Danielle dragging my innocent children into adult drama is out of pure spite. And if speaking out makes people uncomfortable, good, it should. She doesn't get to weaponize systems meant to protect kids just because she's mad. Then sit back and smirk while I stay quiet to look strong. Nope. My strength is speaking up and making sure it never happens again. So respectfully, I'm going to keep being loud for my children. Then someone said, I'd probably take action if my child was being exploited on my ex-Boo Things platform that she wouldn't have were it not for being a criminal. And Lindsey said, you'd probably take action? Interesting. Co-signing a false CPS report and dragging my children into a mess that had nothing to do with them. And not you acting like my past disqualifies me from defending my family. The only reason you even know who I am is because I survived it and I kept going. So if you think that makes me unworthy of a voice, you're welcome to keep watching from the sidelines. Thanks for the unsolicited opinion though. I'll be sure to file it where it belongs. Chad claimed he was at an auction yesterday. I believe it was a car auction, and he accused his ex-wife of blowing him up all day from different numbers. But that's pretty much it, guys. Things are definitely getting messy here, and it's like, damn, if this is already the drama they got to deal with from the beginning of the relationship with outsiders, I don't want to imagine how it's going to get as this relationship progresses. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.